Good morning, crafty friends. Okay, so y'all know about Mr. Bones and all of his adventures. So this time, as promised, he's going camping. And I found this fabulous camper on clearance at Michael's. It was part of the spring stuff, and it has a light in it. And it practically jumped off the shelf at me and said, Mr. Bones. And it also said, Sabrina. So whether y'all know it or not, you guys are always on my mind whenever I'm shopping, crafting, creating, you're always there. So, the kids are back in school, and so this is gonna be a tutorial, and I'm not sure how much I will get through or how many videos it will take because this is really the first time I've done a project like this. And, I pretty much am a fly by the seat of my pants crafter. When I'm working on it, it kind of tells me what to do and where to go. And if I make a mistake, then I just fix it or change it or, it just leads to something else. So, with that being said, here's Mr. Bones. He's taking a little dirt nap right now. And this was actually attached right here. And I got the hubs to take it off for me. He just sawed it off. And I don't think I have any little hinges, but if I do, it'll be hinged. But if not, I'll hot glue it down right there. Because Mr. Bones is going to be sitting in there. And this is this is in my brain, what I see. Okay, I showed y'all before how you can, his hips moving, yeah. Woohoo! You can heat him up and pose him however you want to. So he's going to be sitting here. I'll bend his knees and, one of his arms maybe. I don't know. Anyway, he'll tell me what he needs to do. Woo! He's wanting to do the high kick today. Okay, sit there, Mr. Bones. So, when I was growing up, I camped all my life. My parents, that was their jam. And we started out with, I think it was called an Argosy. We started up with a tent, then a pop-up camper, then an Argosy, They just kept rolling and rolling. And after I was in high school, I think, and my brother had already graduated. And my dad finally got an Airstream, the camper of his dreams. And so, they're silver. We called it the Silver Bullet. So instead of a silver bullet, this is going to be an orange bullet because it's Halloween, and who wouldn't love to have an orange bullet? And so with Sabrina in mind, this is going to be a shabby chic camper for Mr. Bones because he likes all kinds of styles. And then this is going to be the interior, and it's sparkly too. Oh yeah, you can see right there. And of course this is the hitch and the whatever that is, the thing that keeps it from falling forward. It's going to be silver. And when I first got it, I got so excited because you know how we do. And I went ahead and cut out this tire, but I've got to do the one on the back side because I want it to be decorated on both sides. Okay, so that's going to go there. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over and set my paper down here. This may be a problem with my setup. Let's hope not. Okay. So I'm going to kind of try to line it up right there. Get me a pencil. Trace around it. Like so. Okay. Now, which scissors do I want to use? These. Okay. So, and y'all, I may get distracted. And there may be times when I don't say anything. I don't know. There might not be. Because usually when I'm crafting, there's usually at least one kid or a husband or somebody asking me for something and some kind of interruption. So sometimes when I'm crafting, I'm just kind of quiet. Okay, so I'm going to need one of these for both sides. So this one is actually going to be the front. Okay, so then I need to cut one out like this for the back. So it'll be, you know, facing right. So let me trace that. And you know how I said things just speak to me? Well, when I was at that estate sale this weekend, you know, one of the first things I said was, do you have any Halloween? And they said, no. The woman that owned the business we didn't have time to go through everything. And we had to price each individual item, and we didn't get to any Halloween. But I found a few pieces of paper, and when I saw that huge piece of orange glitter paper, I was like, oh yeah. Y'all, there were tubs and tubs and tubs of single sheets of paper. There were racks of single sheets of paper. There were 12 by 12 pads. Now the 12 by 12 pads, they weren't that good a price, even at 60% off, because they had full retail prices on them to begin with. There was nothing there that I wanted so bad that I was going to pay that cheap. Yeah, whatever. So, but the single piece of papers, yesterday when I went back, they were 10 for $1. And I said, okay. Well, I didn't get as many as I probably would have liked to, because it was 1,000,000 degrees in there. There were women, and they were huffing and puffing. I mean, it was hot, girls. But you know what we'll do for a bargain? It's kind of amazing. So, alrighty. So that's going to fit good. So now, I need my little cutout areas. Let's see. So, okay, this is where things might get tricky. I'm going to try to draw a little pattern around there. Oops. And some X's in here, so I have a good idea of my location. Okay? Can I see that? Sort of. Okay, so that's for the front. Now, no, this one was supposed to be for the front. See? This is how I do things. This is how I mess up. Okay, this is the back piece. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so this has a hole right here. Okay, if I can find about the center of it and I can use a hole punch and it will fit on that, wouldn't that be amazing? We're going to say that's the center. Okay, y'all are going to see. This is a fly by the seat of my pants. This is how I roll. And that one is not big enough. And that one is not big enough either. So, I have to get my circle dies. Okay, so I'll wait to do that piece, and then I will attempt to do this one. Okay, so it's going to go inside like this, and there's no way I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm going to make an X right there. Can y'all see what I'm doing? Ah! There we go. See? You punch a hole with your pencil. Now, if I had one of those handy dandy lay it down over the top of it squares, I could cut it right out, but I do not, so there you go. All right. So now then, my next thing is getting around these braces. So I'm going to get this and line it up as best I can right there and fold it, and this one is right here. Okay, fold that. Okay, now I'll fold it back the opposite direction. Thank goodness there won't be a wallpaper inspector inside this camper, because they probably would not like my corners. And it doesn't fit in there. All right, so let's try again. I got that one right. Oh, I see, this one is way too far over. Woo, and way crooked too. Now, okay. So, let's try this again. While I was at the estate sale, you know, when you're in a room or in a place and there's other crafty people, it's just an amazing thing, because you get to learn about different kinds of things that they work on and that they like to do. And it's really awesome. Okay, now there's a brace right there. So, anyway, I met this one lady, and she said that she does genealogy. She loves genealogy, and so she does these genealogy boxes, and they're kind of similar. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. So I cut 2 little slices right there, and I'm sliding it down so it'll completely cover that. And so anyway, she pulled one. I said, oh, I love, you know, history. I love old things. I bet that's so interesting. And anyway, she does it, you know, for people. They'll say, like, for instance, the one that she showed me was an African-American man, but he was born in Japan. And she went back and found his original birth certificate online from Japan that said he was Japanese. And she thought that was hysterical. She was African-American too. And she thought that was hysterical. She said, hey, look at this man. He is not Japanese. And I was like, wow. And she said, and he had never seen this before. Isn't that cool? And so it was a box, like a box lid. I mean, it was probably actually a frame. But, you know, you get my gist. And it had that birth certificate in there, you know, the copy of it, and she had like distressed it, and or maybe that's the way it came out on her printer. I don't know, but anyway, that was in there. There were pictures of him when he was small. There were pictures of him, you know, through the years, like his accomplishments and different things like that. And it was, I mean, it gave me chills. It was such a beautiful history of this man, you know. And I thought that was so cool. And I was like, well, there's a crafty thing I haven't heard anybody talk about before. So wouldn't that be fun to do for, you know, a family member or something like that. Okay, so now what I've gotten done here is I'm trying to get this sort of just slide right down in here. And see this brace, I have to go around the brace. And so I'm, camera problems. I'm making little lines here. So when I cut it, it's kind of like wallpapering, you know. You got to go around stuff. All right, let's see if I can see that line. Oh, yes, I can. But anyway, she was super sweet. And she was in there when Ty was in there with me. And she was like, now, are y'all neighbors? And we were like, no. And she said, well, how do you know each other? And we said, we're YouTube buddies. And she was like, YouTube buddies? And we said, yeah. And we met, and we live like an hour away. And, we find goodies for each other. And I saw this sale, and so I sent her a message and let her know about it. And it just so happened she was coming in town anyway. And then it just so happened that we were there at the same time. And she was like, oh, man, that's amazing. I said, yeah, we kind of think so, too. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Now, so I'm not going to cut these flaps off because covering these corners, these inside corners, keeping that covered will make it look neater in the end. Can you see? Right there. Okay, let's see. How long have I been jabbering? 16 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to stop this video now and finish the inside. And I'll probably go ahead and finish the outside too because it'll be the same. And then the fun begins. Okay? Y'all stay tuned. Mr. Bones, I'm going to do a video on how to pose him too. Okay. Love you guys. Blessings.